Bad boys, what you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown come for you?
The good, the bad, and the guilty is recorded live with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, here's your host, Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Bill, I can't believe it. We've made it 2 weeks in a row without miss. Our attendance is good.
It's 100% the way I figure it.
I tell you what. And listen, we're gonna have a great show today. So
Absolutely.
we're gonna have a good one. We had a good one last week with Daniel Hall, First Sergeant of North Carolina Highway Patrol. I want to thank him again for coming. He and you know what? I guess we didn't mess him up too bad because he said he'd love to come back anytime. So
Absolutely. Hey, I mean, it was a great show. I mean, and I'm really excited about today's too. In addition to last week's, just to let people see kind of behind the curtain the way we work with other agencies, and I really am excited about our guest here today. But I'll let you do the introduction.
Well, we will, and I'll tell you who it is before I'll give his name, and I'm gonna let him come back in and speak. But we're gonna have North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation on today. It's one of our ASACs, which if you don't know what an ASAC is, that's an Assistant Special Agent in Charge. And if I'm not mistaken, and I could be mistaken,
But you're probably not.
One of the youngest in the state. And we'll come back and introduce you in just a second. And Bill, we got to give a shout out to our sponsors, if you will.
Absolutely, if you will, Sheriff. Yep. The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty, which is today's radio show, is proudly presented by Harrison's. From the job site to the rodeo to the backyard hammock, Harrison's has you covered. They are the Southeast leader in Carhartt and Ariat workwear, and nobody has more in-stock work boots. Now, see, last week we were freezing to death. Today we're sweating to death. So they've got you covered for all seasons.
And I picked the wrong day to wear a coat.
I didn't wear mine today, but that's okay.
Well,
they can get you ready to go boot scooting from Western favorites like Cinch, Rock and Roll Denim, and Wrangler. Visit their Mooresville location or shop online at harrisonsusa.com. Harrison's, our home for work, Western, and wow.
And Bill, had you checked your email for your pre-show package of what we're going to do today and read it last night, you would have known that we were wearing suits and ties today.
No, I didn't get that email. I check my email a lot because you don't sleep, and I check my email at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning just to make sure you haven't sent anything, sir.
Now, I might have sent a little later, but either
yeah,
way,
exactly.
I'm just kidding. Okay, today we are joined by Jefferson Waugh. Jefferson, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me. Thanks for the opportunity to come on. My name is Jefferson Waugh. I'm a Assistant Special Agent in Charge with the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation. I've been with the SBI for, I guess, about 8 years now. Started in 2017. Was part of the 47th Special Agent Academy, which I think we'll go into that a little bit more later on. I'm assigned as a supervisor in the Northwestern District, which covers 13 counties in the northwestern part of the state, including Iredell County. So I've had the opportunity over the years to work with local agencies, including the Sheriff's Office, Iredell County Sheriff's Office, which is a big part of what we'll do, and we'll talk more about that later as well.
We will, and I got to give hats off. I'm going to give credit where credit's due, and I've got to say that the SBI, a lot of people used to think that maybe the locals in the cities and the High Patrol, we didn't G-Haul or get along with the State Bureau of Investigation. I'm going to tell you, it's one of the best working relationships we've ever had.
Absolutely.
And I've got to brag on your director, Chip Hawley, who was a former, I think, 33 years at Wake County Sheriff's Office, was appointed to Capitol Police. You talking about somebody that will pick up the phone and call you and how's it going? What can you do? And I cannot say enough about the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation as far as taking care of their customers, the district attorneys, the police chiefs, the sheriffs, everything. So I don't know if he's listening, but I've got to say y'all are running one more tip-top shape organizations now. I'm not saying it was bad before, but I'm going to say right now it is unbelievable the relationship we have. And
it's probably the best it's ever been.
Well, I appreciate that, and we that's kind of our bread and butter. We don't exist without relationships, without partnerships. We don't have a job without requests from sheriff's offices and police departments and district attorneys and citizens as well. So, we love working with agencies, and that's a big part of what we do.
We know a little bit of historical trivia here. You know why y'all will like it. For one, you heard me say the director was 33-year deputy with Wake County, which is great.
That's right.
But I did not know until we'd done our pre-op. Bill, you would have known this had you read it.
I believe I found it, sir.
All right. Well, anyway, the former McDowell County Sheriff, Oscar Atkins, was the first SBI agent. And this is back in 1939. The agency was renamed the State Bureau of Investigation. So, and the SBI Technical Laboratory, which is what y'all really well known for, is your SBI lab. And I did not know that little piece of trivia that the first SBI agent was actually a former sheriff out of McDowell County.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
we were established.
And the lab was one of the first labs in the nation. So even back in 1937, 1938, North Carolina was on the cutting edge of law enforcement and continues to be so to this day.
You know, I was just sitting there thinking, Jefferson, and Bill as well. There's so much to cover, and I did forget to say this. If you have something, follow us on Facebook, X, LinkedIn. You can listen to us on FM 100.7, 105.9, 1400 AM. But please send us comments because
Absolutely.
Jefferson, and I will refer to you as Jefferson because if I have to call you ASAC Wall, I will
Don't
mess
do
that
that.
up. I'll
Don't
mess
do
that
that.
up somewhere. So
Please
it's
don't.
not a disrespect thing. It's just
Not at all.
It's a lot easier. But you know, from your original jurisdiction, investigating officer-involved shootings, that's a lot of stuff we'll go into. And it's not that y'all say we're coming to investigate it. It's a request that we make and work with because of transparency. And I think it's a good thing for people to understand that. But before we even get into that, and I know, and I didn't say, but you'll watch the clocks. We got about 2 minutes in this segment. But to start with, if Bill and I wanted to grow up to be an ASAC or a special agent with the SBI, see, I tell you this would be fun. What do we need to do if somebody's out there listening? And if you want to, you're listening to this, or somebody tells you about it, you want to go to the SBI, what do you do?
So we have a very involved hiring process, just like many law enforcement agencies do. Our process includes physical fitness standards and testing, written tests, polygraph, review boards, background investigations, drug screens, psych screens, all that sort of stuff. Generally, we run 2 academies a year, and when I say an academy, we have a 12-week special agent academy in Samarkand or Jackson Springs, North Carolina, which is in Moore County down towards
How do you know it's
Pinehurst.
Jackson Springs? I just hear Samarkand. After
Right,
that, I'm tuned in.
right.
Of course, after I heard the physical part, me and Bill sort of out of it.
Yeah, I'm done.
So we have a 12-week academy there where agents just finished up a couple weeks ago. We had a group of 16 agents who just finished their academy. They have come out into their respective districts and units, and now they're participating in field training, which will last about 13 weeks until they're cut loose and they're able to do their own investigations on their own.
So, and I may have missed it, but if you have a young person that's watching this, who do they contact? Would they contact, because y'all's office is out of Hickory.
So the Northwestern District that I serve is out of Hickory, but obviously the main office is in Raleigh on Garner Road. NCSBI.gov is the best place to go. Just like you said, Facebook, Instagram, all the social media stays updated with our PIO. Chad Flowers does a great job of promoting the agency and kind of letting you know when job postings are going to be available.
And that is right after you go and follow, and like our county sheriff, you can go into the SBI, follow your website, because y'all do a lot. Social media is unbelievable, what y'all do and what you've done for your social media. And you want to see what they're doing.
If I can interrupt, Sharon, in just about the few seconds that we have left, Jefferson, when we come back, once somebody gets out of the Special Agent Academy, when and how do they get their assignment in what they do for the agency? So hold that thought. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Thank you for listening today to The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. so much for taking your time to tune in today and watch The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. We are very fortunate to have Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Jefferson Waugh with the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation. And Sheriff, that was one of those breaks where I really wish people could watch behind the scenes, when we're talking.
Well, and I heard I was having mic difficulties, so we'll see if it works a little better.
See if your microphone is better.
I know I can't talk much closer, but
I know
it is. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
So Jefferson, for those of you that may have just tuned in, we were talking about how to apply to become an SBI agent and going through the process of the academy that you guys run. And then once you come out of the academy as a new special agent, how is it determined what area of expertise? Because I know you guys, all of you can investigate basically everything, but like you were a drug agent and then you took the bomb dog, and I've worked with wonderful agents that were like for arson, and then some specialized specifically in homicides or officer involved shootings. So if you could tell our listeners kind of, once you come out of the academy, how do they transition into basically, I guess, would be your duties as an agent?
Absolutely. So when you come out of the Special Agent Academy, you're assigned to either one of 8 field districts across the state or a specialty unit. When I came out, I was assigned to the Northwestern District, specifically Iredell County, to investigate criminal and drugs. About a year later, I took on a collateral duty of getting a canine, an explosives detection canine, who I retired about this time last year. So you come out of the academy, you're given an assignment. We have the 8 field districts. We also have some specialty units like arson investigations, criminal apprehension team, which focuses on missing persons, fugitive apprehension. We have computer crimes unit, which is internet crimes against children.
Right.
And then we have some financial crimes investigators. So depending on the specialty, if you have a background in arson investigations, or if you're an accountant, then you might come out and you be in a specialty unit. Otherwise, you kind of investigate a little bit of everything from officer-involved shootings, homicides, robberies, sexual assaults, deaths in custody, and then we also get some special investigations where there might be some conflicts of interest.
And you did bring up a lot of points. There is a lot of people that may just see you sitting here in a suit and tie and think that's what we do, but you're right. Arson, narcotics investigations, crime scene, cold cases, any case you see that, very well-known and famous case in the state of North Carolina, the lead agency usually will be the SBI that comes in help because of the resources. And we talk about the resources. You're part of the state agency, and I believe you mentioned, I think y'all have 8 district offices across the state.
Yes, sir. We have 8
from
field
Murphy to
districts.
Manio and everywhere
That's
in
right.
between. And there again, you may be called to specialized assignments, like go to Texas during the flood.
That's right.
Work in the mountains, doing different things. One of the cool things I think, and we won't get into a lot of it, is being able to track our criminals. We know they flee, and we know there's methods that we use to help track. And I know you alluded a little bit to the criminal apprehension unit, but there's a lot of technology, and you can get that with the State Bureau of Investigation just because y'all are very specialized in that and have the funding for it.
That's right. We're fortunate to have, like I mentioned a minute ago, a criminal apprehension team that focuses solely on fugitive apprehension. And then, if you have an Amber Alert and a child has been abducted, they are incredible at locating missing children, missing elderly folks as well. But as an agent day to day, we work with the resources at hand, which technology is a big part of that nowadays, to locate people when necessary. We had a homicide a couple weeks ago where we went from not knowing the identity of the victim to having a person in custody within about 10 hours. And a lot of that is based on technology and just the resources that we have at our disposal.
So if you're a person that watches Discovery ID or the serial killers in the state of North Carolina, or anywhere in the country, if you're specialized and have that training, the State Bureau of Investigation is one place to do that because that's what y'all do specialize in, and we understand that.
Yeah, and we're not, again, the big thing I think to hammer home here is we're not any better or necessarily any more experienced than a local sheriff's office, a local police department, or another state or federal agency. A lot of times we just have resources that are at our disposal because we are a state agency and because we have 100 counties to cover that we're able to provide to local
And you know that is, and Bill, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That's a great point, Jefferson, because here locally we're big enough. We can handle. We have a lot of the resources.
Absolutely, yeah.
You work here, we work drug case, but a lot of your smaller counties, especially your mountain or your far east, they don't have the resource. So the SBI brings in another stronger arm just to make them stronger and be able to accomplish things. And, you know, I've got to say that, and I'll go back again. Your director now, Director Hawley, has really done wonders at letting the local agents know, hey, we're here to support you. We're here to help you. We're here to support you. Let's work together, not on just the case, but also across social media so the rest of the public, our legislators, can see how we work together. And I don't think before that was ever really known as well as it is now.
And you know, one thing, having been in law enforcement as long as I have, coming from a smaller agency before I had the great fortune to come back home, we had to, when I was with Taylorsville Police Department, we reached out to the SBI for manpower and expertise because, as you said, and I do agree to some extent that you guys are no better than anybody else, but I think you are in some aspects, just because if you've never worked a homicide and you've interviewed 100 people that have committed homicide, you have that ability to relate, and you have that background to draw the experience from. So coming in and being able to supplement local agencies, not overtake, because we want to make sure that it is clear you guys don't overtake anything. You have to be requested.
Right.
But just bringing in the resources and the expertise. Your crime lab folks are some of the best in the country. The crime scene investigators, some of the finest I've ever worked with, that bringing in that experience so that if you've worked 100 crime scenes, you have the ability and the techniques and the knowledge to be able to come in and do it efficiently, do it professionally, and make it such that the court system is able to accept all of that evidence in. So I think that is a tremendous asset, not only to law enforcement, but to the citizens of North Carolina, to have top-notch law enforcement agencies and people to be able to work together to hopefully get a good outcome for the victim.
That's right, and we all play our part. You know, we do have a lot of smaller agencies in this part of the state who may have one detective, may have no detectives, may only have a couple part-time officers. So that's where we can really provide some resources and some guidance and just manpower and help out with some of that. So we're fortunate to be in that position to be able to do that.
You know, Jefferson, I've worked undercover narcotics. Bill did here. I said one thing is everybody watches TV other than these serial killers. The other thing is working undercover narcotics.
That's right.
And you've done that here locally. You know exactly. So, and the thing that I want to say the most is the SBI usually has more money than we do. So for undercover people, what I mean by that, to carry out drug operations and to make successful drug arrests, we do have to spend money.
That's
to
right.
fund those investigations. So with us working with the State Bureau of Investigation, not only is the turnaround time faster than lab, but at the lab, but there's a lot of additional financial supportive roles. If y'all need to call agents from another 5 counties away for undercover officers, we can do that. And we've been doing that now ever since I worked on cars 20 years ago.
Absolutely. Drug dealers obviously don't know county lines, or in our case, district lines. They cross district lines, they cross county lines, they cross state lines, and we're fortunate to be able to have contacts in all those other areas to where we can reach out and get the resources we need maybe in another part of the state that will assist in furthering investigation.
Well, there's a lot of stuff we've done here locally. You know, we used to call them pen registers, which y'all know what I'm talking about, the wire cases, and those are specially trained and high-skilled investigations. It has to be done with court orders and things of that nature, judges and monitoring and 24-hour surveillance, whatever. But that is a capability that y'all also bring to the table for us as local. And the reason we do that is we may have a case here, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it may stretch to Washington State. Well, we can work those cases here locally with your resources, our resources, and the skill to be able to do those. And a lot of people don't understand how the locals, if that was to happen somewhere different, without y'all, there wouldn't be that capability to do it.
And it may actually work outside the country.
And outside the country, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, we, without going too deep into it, the Iredell County Sheriff's Office, the SBI, and some federal partners, along with other local police departments, sheriff's offices, within the past couple of years have done several high-level drug and money laundering, firearms investigations, which have led us to states all the way across the country, and like Bill said, out of the country even. So we're fortunate to have the partnerships that we do because we rely a lot on the sheriff's office to bring individuals with information forward that can further a case, and then we work with our resources to build the best available outcome.
And when we come, we got about another minute and 30 seconds, but there's the next subject I guess we need to get into is we done a roundup recently, and why we done them in coordination with, the whatever, working with the state and us, but why those are beneficial to reduce crime rates and their involvement. You may hear State Bureau of Investigation, but you also don't understand how much that affects crime rates locally with the resources they provide. So, Bill, we got about another minute before we have to take a break.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and just to kind of foreshadow where we're going, for those of you that may not be familiar with what Sheriff Campbell's speaking about, we just took off, or we have warrants for 55 individuals, and those 55 individuals account for numerous hours, hundreds of hours of surveillance and undercover work and things like that. So pulling those people, getting those people out of our community pays and plays valuable dividends for the citizens here in Arnold County, as you say, Sheriff, with keeping our crime rate down. So if you have anybody that might be interested in that sort of aspect of the show, tell them to tune in here in about 30 seconds, and then we'll have about 2 minutes worth of commercials. We'll come back and talk with Special Agent Waugh and Sheriff Campbell.
And remember, come on, comment on Facebook. We'll answer comments while you're taking a break. Go find the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation Facebook page. Follow them. Look what they're doing. Look at the involvement.
See if you see Jefferson's picture there on it.
I don't know if you'll see that too often.
They might share the show. We'll see.
I don't know about that.
Thank you for tuning in today, ladies and gentlemen, on The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty.
Well, everybody, welcome back to The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. And if you're having problems hearing me from what I'm hearing, my mic's a little low, y'all's high, so we're working through the problems. But
Maybe I need to quit leaning forward.
I don't know.
Maybe it's Jefferson.
Yeah, I'm going to sit back.
You done broke the radio show.
I probably have. You won't have me back on.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have you back on many more times if you'll come. So, hey, leading to that, first of all, remember y'all can comment on Facebook, follow us on X, YouTube, the WSIC app, LinkedIn. As always, 107 FM, 105.9 FM, and 1400 AM.
100.7.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of numbers to read.
A lot of numbers.
So, but we do appreciate everybody joining in today. So, Jefferson, what do you think so far? We're a little over halfway through.
This is good. This is a comfortable chair. Nice.
You thought we was going to get
Nice
you fired, didn't you?
Well, we're still only halfway through.
Bill,
There's still time for that.
Nah, you're going to be famous. You'll be famous. So, well, one thing we did want to say, well, Bill, I think you wanted to ask him the question a little bit about sort of doing the drug work and lead into sort of our roundup.
Yeah, Jefferson, you've worked enough criminal crime plus narcotics, specializing in narcotics. And I know that Sheriff Campbell and I constantly talk about how drugs affect communities, but maybe they're tired of hearing us. So, Jefferson, how do drugs and drug dealers affect communities here across North Carolina? And why are they dangerous to have in our community?
Well, I'll tell you that across the state is no different. Drugs are prevalent everywhere. They're a problem everywhere. Just in our district, which, like I said, we cover 13 counties, I think we've seized in the area of about 140 kilos of meth and about 30 kilos of cocaine just in 2025 alone, and that's with a very limited number of agents. We have agents spread out across the state who are doing this every day. We have a criminal enterprise investigations unit that focuses on large-scale drug operations, and that's what they're doing all day, every day. So the community impacts are widespread across the state and across the nation, and that obviously leads to other crimes, property crimes and violent crimes, which we then in turn end up investigating as well.
We know we're not going to toot our own horn too much, but I will say in Iowa our population is up 24%, but our crime's down almost 56.7%. So, and a lot of people they hear us talking about drugs, and we do the app and we do the roundups, and the reason why do we put such a concentration on that? And I'll tell you the reason is because most of the drugs has about a 78% nexus to other crimes. Meaning, if we make and build up such distrust in the community with the dealers, they don't trust their customers. The customers don't steal.
That's right.
To get the dealers, so it drives down our crime rates. It may drive them out of the county, and ultimately that's what we want to happen. But but that's why I think we've had such success, and why we focus on that a lot. And Bill, before we go, and I want to make clear, the people that have addiction, we understand that there's resources we can help them. We put it in the press releases. But selling drugs to an undercover officer or somebody in your community is not a way to overcome an addiction. So let's just put that out there. If you need help, call us.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, we want to deter that as much as possible because it reduces other crimes.
And I know you said it 1,000 times, and I'll echo that sentiment. Jefferson, I believe you will agree. If a dope dealer will sell to an undercover officer that they really don't know or have never met, they'll sell to a kid. They'll sell to anybody. They just want that dollar.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We see it every day. They want the money. They don't care who they're selling to. They want the money. It's easy money. It's fast money. And like you said, if they're willing to sell it to somebody they don't know, they'll sell it to a child. They'll sell it to a vulnerable person as well.
And I think one of the I'm sorry.
No. I was going to say it's like on social media. If we arrest for 100 pounds of weed, you get those people that they enjoy it, like it, want us to go after the meth heads and the cocaine. Well, we do that, and they get upset. So we understand. But right now, if it's illegal in the state of North Carolina, we're going to enforce the drug laws.
I was going to say last time I looked, weed was still illegal in North Carolina.
And if you go weed and any like that. But if you go look at our Facebook page, we usually post look at the weapons that's involved. It's not as peaceful and it's what people think. There's a lot of weapons and a lot of violence, and a lot of people died to get that product here. They may not believe it, but it's the truth, factually.
Yeah.
So,
and one of the things that I think that we do a great job of, and Sheriff, I know you've been a driving force behind it, is publicize these dope dealers. Put their picture out there, put their address out there, put their criminal history out there. Let the community know what kind of people you have dealing dope and living in our communities. And just sitting here thinking, listening to you two gentlemen speak, going back to talking about the wires, you put the activity, the enforcement activities that we're doing here in Arnold County, put it out on social media so that it goes everywhere around the World Wide Web. And you listen to these wires, and you listen and you talk to these informants. Iredell County's not the place to go.
No.
I mean, and we've heard that from various forms of communication where they will tell you, avoid Iredell County, go up I-26, go up I-95, don't go to Iredell County specifically. So between the sheriff, what you have us doing, and Jefferson, what y'all are doing, and what our federal partners are helping us do, you guys are helping us do, we're doing something to get our name out, in other countries.
Yeah, and I think it's important not to forget our city police. Mooresville State
100%.
works well with us anytime we ever need anything. So sometimes the assumption that we do not work well together is the furthest thing from the truth. And
yeah, because we have, and I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds, obviously, but working some of the cases when I was at narcotics, and Jefferson, you were there helping, we would have folks from Mooresville helping. We would have folks from Troutman Police Department helping. I might be covering, doing surveillance assist in Mooresville or vice versa, or with Statesville PD. So we all work together behind the scenes to get the
Now, there may be some bumps
job.
in the road. Let's not.
Of course, that's
but we work growing pains, but we do.
And I have countless contacts in my phone. I could scroll through my phone and get you a contact from any agency in Iredell County, like each of you do as well. And that's really what's important is getting the drug dealers in custody, prosecuted, successful prosecution, so that it eliminates the other crime in the communities.
And we got to build a case for the district attorney to prosecute.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, ultimately, we may come back when Bill sort of gets into some press release, but Jefferson, I got the best question of all. Here it is. I'm going to leave you 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
All right.
Drum roll, please.
Minus signing off. No. How does an investigation get referred to the State Bureau of Investigation? Because I'm all the time getting things, we're referring this or we're calling the FBI, but I'll just narrow it to you. How do you actually get a case as a citizen referred to the State Bureau of Investigation?
So we have original jurisdiction, like I mentioned, in several things, including election law violations, arson, drug investigations, crimes against children, child abuse in daycare centers, just to name a few. But predominantly, how we get our requests are through requests from police chiefs, sheriffs, other state agencies, and other federal agencies, and of course, district attorneys. Private citizens, the best way to handle a request if you have an issue is to reach out to your local sheriff, your chief, and voice your concerns. Call your district attorney, voice your concerns about what you may have, and if they deem it necessary to contact the SBI to request an investigation or assistance with the investigation, then obviously do so.
And that's a great point to bring up. It's sort of like another agency or us. I'll use me for an example. If a police department has an issue with something we've done, it's that chief's duty to, if you see something's criminal, you need to report it. Same way here. If we get allegations or something, it can't say, well, Sheriff, you protected this person. It don't matter if it's in this county or not, wherever it's at, but I don't ever want the illusion of the fact that we try to hide behind. If we get alleged criminal activity, we have to ethically make a report, and every chief and every sheriff knows that. So I just want to hit that out.
And that's very true. I can think of quite a few times where one of the two of you have called me and said, "Hey, we have this. We need this handled. Will you come and work this case for us?" To avoid any appearance of bias or being partial to the victim, the suspect, any witness, and so forth.
Well, we need to be transparent. You'll remember the case. One of the ones we're talking about real quick was in the jail and was ready to arrest him ourselves. We got a handle,
right.
but we contacted y'all.
That's right.
To come because it is transparent and it is for the best for everybody to do it that way. So we'll come back for our last segment. We'll take a break. We'll come back in about 2.5 minutes, Bill.
Yes, sir. Thank you for tuning in today on The Good, the Bad, the Guilty. gentlemen, thank you so much for taking valuable time today to tune in to The Good, the Bad, the Guilty here with Sheriff Campbell and Special Agent Jefferson Waugh with the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation. Hope we've given some good information this week on our show. If you're interested in the SBI, please contact Jefferson. He's the Assistant Special Agent in charge for the Northwest District. Their field office is out of Hickory,
Right.
over in Hickory off 127.
Yeah.
But known Jefferson for years. He's a great guy. He's a very good law enforcement officer. And we are just tickled to death to have him here with us today. And Sheriff, I know before you,
We need to give hats off too, also to the resident or the SAC, which is Angie Key. Now she's out doing real work, while Jefferson is here talking with us.
Yeah,
Jefferson, are we lying or telling the truth?
really wasn't going to
You're
get into
telling the
that,
truth.
but yeah.
No, we're fortunate to have a very good leadership team in our district and across the state, starting at the top with Director Hawley, our assistant directors, our SACs across the state.
You know what scares me about that?
What's that?
First of all, you have to learn when us sheriffs go to conference, because we won't tell no jokes. But I do know that when Adam Dillard, who's our attorney, your director, Chip Hall, and us get together, somehow you always get woke up early in the morning.
Sunday morning at 8:30, I got a phone call. We'll leave it at that.
I was going to say, what else?
Yeah, I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole.
But I will say this. No, the first one, and this was back when we went to our summer conference. I know I'm getting old, Bill. You're right there with me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Jefferson, you will be. It's when I see a buddy that I was already working narcotics when he come out of the SBI Academy, and that was Patrick Reynolds.
That's right, yeah.
And Patrick now, I think, is Duplin County, but he's in Rock.
He's a SAC over our Intel and Analysis Center, Isaac.
Which is scary, but okay.
He stays busy, I know. We obviously have a lot going on across the state at any given time, and he's responsible for overseeing a group of folks who monitor intel and
that's a whole nother thing we didn't even mention was Isaac.
Isaac is. There are just so many things that SBI has and does that it's hard to mention everything in an hour.
So it sounds like you're willing to come back and do another show.
If you ask me back, I'll be back.
Well,
so we have to officially request.
That's right.
Sheriff, we have to request him.
We make an official request. Well, I will say, first of all, apply for the Iredell County Sheriff's Office. But second,
100%.
Just kidding, is if you are young, and I mean young, in your 20s or even 30s, whichever, if you're thinking about a field of law enforcement, obviously you understand what Sheriff's Office does, we do, but if you want if you see the FBI and you think, hey, that's cool what I see on TV, if you're here, think of the SBI, the State Bureau of Investigation, because you get to do all that and more. Yeah, you can be moved anywhere across the state, but you got a great director, you got a great bunch of SACs across the state. I can't say enough of how good of customer service y'all, there again, to the sheriffs, the police chiefs, the district attorneys. But the fact that when we have conferences, you bring the SACs for the most part, and we get to interact with them. And that's a big thing I've said before. If we have an emergency, I don't want to be standing across from you when I need you. I want to have already known you to stand beside of me, and I think that's important.
Well, I think it's critical that I can get a call from any sheriff or chief, all the way down to any patrol officer or patrol deputy. I feel very fortunate to look at my phone and see any number of people calling me to ask for my help, and I try my best to provide them with whatever they need. We try to get there in a timely fashion. We try to do everything professionally, effectively, efficient, and that's what Director Hawley has instilled in us, and that's what we strive to do.
You're not speaking to one thing that you do, Jefferson. You didn't know I was going to say this. I know you didn't. But whenever you go on vacation with your family, you don't work for the sheriff's office, but you always let me know, hey, I'm available, but I'm going to be on vacation, and that says a lot, and that means a lot, because I know when we have something bad happen, usually I'm on the phone with you, letting you know, and then shortly thereafter, your director's calling me, and that happened. That's
right. Just a couple months ago, I think we were a little triangle of phone calls between myself, the director, and Sheriff Campbell. We were all talking to each other simultaneously when a critical incident occurred, and our goal was to provide the service that Sheriff Campbell requested, and to do it professionally and effectively, and that's ultimately what we're here to do.
And that's great. We have some resources like the Rook, the command bus now, and I spoke to the director, and I spoke to you as well. Anything that we have that y'all can use and make it available to help you, even if it's another county, or if y'all are out on a scene, which I'm gonna get into this as a last segment real quick. But it's welcome y'all, and I think that's a lot when he's passed through. Hey, let me come look at your Rook. I'm gonna come see it. So That's great. But listen, here's one thing you see a lot. And every time we have an officer-involved shooting, not just us, anywhere in the state, you'll see this, SBI is investigating. So I guess why does the SBI, North Carolina State Bureau, investigate officer-involved shootings?
I think transparency has obviously been a big talking point within the field of law enforcement over the last several years. And this is nothing new. This isn't anything that we've just started doing, but historically the SBI has been responsible for investigating officer-involved shootings, in custody deaths. And the big reason is to avoid any perception of bias or covering up anything
Absolutely.
on the part of a sheriff's office or a police department or the highway patrol or any other agency for that matter. It's very important this day and age to have a third party come in, look at the facts from the outside, and we're fact finders. We're not, we don't present our opinion, but we collect the facts and then we turn them over to a district attorney to review. And they make a determination on the best way to move forward from there.
You know, and I think, and Bill, you can key up anytime. I've been involved in several, but I think to get sort of what happens if you as a person wondering, well, how does that go about? What happens is usually we may have an officer involved shooting. We have. My first call is usually going to be to the SAC, which is Angie now, but it was Chris.
Right.
We'll call and say, listen, here's what we've got. I need one of your agents to respond. Now I'm calling you, but really it's, okay, Sheriff, we're at. You're going to call back, give us an ETA. You're going to bring your crime scene. We're going to make sure our officers are safe, or if they're injured, we've got to protect the crime scene, just like which happened several years ago with Jordan Sheldon, which was an awful day.
Right.
But you investigate both sides of that. And I think the fact of a lot of people think when we get there, we're not there overlooking. We've got an administrative investigation to do from our standpoint, but we entrust you and the state and your agents to do the criminal investigation. And that's actually what it is. It's an investigation. When an officer's involved in shooting, they may not know this, but usually they're Mirandized
They are.
because you're investigating a killing of another human.
A potentially
Potential, that's a good word.
criminal act. And we do, it's obviously a very sensitive investigation. There is sometimes the perception that we're there to get somebody in trouble, and that's not the case. We're there to find the facts and determine whether a shooting was justified, and the circumstances that led up to that, and then present those facts to the district attorney for review and further investigation.
Well, and it's a transparent way for the public to know that, hey, it is. If it's wrong, you're going to call it like it is. And if it's right, we're going. If it's justified or not, and then it goes to the district attorney. And we don't come and ask for updates. We don't do that. You know, obviously we're handling the administrative part to make sure our policies was followed, and that's one thing. But that's really how the case goes. We may see each other every day. We may, while in the course of the investigation, we may not see each other. But y'all doing that investigation, I think it's a good, transparent way to make sure the citizens understand what actually went on, and then the district attorney can make the decision.
That's right. And it's obviously one of our highest priority cases when it comes down as an officer involved shooting. We get there as quickly as we can. We do the job professionally, and we wrap up the case as quickly as we can to provide the best information for the citizens and for the law enforcement community.
And it's a cool thing if you'll see it. Pretty much a request. I'll make the request, even if it wasn't. I don't think it is a requirement, but still, I think every agency in the state of North Carolina that I know of has faith in the Bureau of Investigation to do our shootings. I can't think of an agency that does not use the State Bureau of Investigation to investigate officer involved or in custody deaths.
There was some several years ago, but I think even they have seen the wisdom of, as Jefferson says, making sure it's transparent to the community to call in a third party.
Yeah, and I need to clarify when I say in custody deaths. For the most part, people do pass away. Sad but true, but in jail. There's a lot of people that has a lot of health problems, a lot of, they get arrested, they may have cancer that they're going to pass away or any other number of disease. We're responsible. So if they do die in a jail, we still, or pass away, we still have the Bureau investigate it. So
Absolutely.
That's great. Well, we got about 2 minutes, Bill. I know there is one award that was given to one of our SROs. If you have it, I was looking. If you
I will be glad to talk about it. I know we're going to talk about Ryan Rankin. I'm tickled to death to talk
before
about
you
him.
get to it, Jefferson, while he's looking, anything? I mean, jump in right here and hold on for the last 2 minutes. But anything you'd like to throw out?
No. Again, I just appreciate the opportunity. I'm fortunate to be in this position. Work for the SBI, work for a good leadership team. My grandfather retired from law enforcement after.
Hey, you got to say who your grandpa. Yeah, that's right. You got to tell everybody because a lot of people know your grandfather.
Yeah, my grandfather was Tom Waugh. He came back from World War II in 1945 and started with Statesville PD in 46 and was there through the 70s. So fortunate to, I guess, have his genes. He was a great man. Unfortunately passed away quite a few years ago, but
But a long history because I even knew who he was.
yeah, absolutely.
So, well, thanks for coming.
Thanks for
thank
coming,
you for
Jefferson.
having me.
Appreciate you. Right, real quick, would want to thank and congratulate Officer Ryan Rankin. He was appointed by Governor Josh Stein. He was selected to serve on the Governor's Advisory Council for Student Safety and Well-Being, and he is one of the only SROs to be chosen to be on that council. I think it speaks volumes, Sheriff, of the SRO program that you've put together here at the Ardell County Sheriff's Office, and a lot to the character and just the attitude of Ryan Rankin. So congratulations,
Hey.
Ryan.
Congratulations. Yeah, we put it together, but they're the ones that make it go around. Ryan does a
100%.
job during the summer. The only thing is he needs to quit giving out them little whistles during the summertime at the pool, but other than that, great job. Hey, before we wrap up, thanks everybody for joining us next week. If you have any ideas who you'd like us to invite on the show, let us know. Send us a Facebook.
Absolutely. Call the Sheriff's Office. Let us
Comment
know.
on the show. So, but if not, we will see you next week at the same time. Jefferson, thanks again for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jefferson.